Hello and welcome back to our study of Peninei Halacha. The teachings of Rabbi Eliezer Melamed. Shlita. Yom Chamishi is upon us. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. Thank you for joining us. Please continue davening for Chayli, Tefillah May, Yisrael, for Shalom L'chol B'tzua Yisrael. Safety of our brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. Nishmat and Daniel Shimon Harav Daron V'Shel Yishem Kam Damo. This morning, a bit of a shorter chapter, but no less important, and that is Barchu. Tiknu chachamim lema'achrim shegiu achar tfilas berachos kriya shema v'hefsidu anias Barchu im hatzibur she'achar tfilah yachzor chazan lomar avora Barchu. Chazal instituted that let's say people come late to shul and they already missed berachos kriya shema. In other words, they missed the first Barchu, and they weren't able to answer Barchu with the congregation. That as soon as davening is over, the chazan should go back and say on their behalf Barchu. And therefore, everybody can answer Barchu again and Baruch Hashem Baruch Olam Va'ed at the end of davening. V'chein nogen gam b'sof tfilas arvis, and this is the custom at the end of Marv as well. Lefi zeh b'shabbosas v'chagim ein tzorach shechazin yomer b'sof atfilah Barchu, mnei shemistaber shegam ha'ma'achrim hispiku lishmoa Baruch meha'olam l'Torah. And it would seem that this is not the practice on Shabbos or on Yom Tov or on other days where perhaps where they have a later part of laning, since the Torah reading has part of Barchu in it. Meaning, when someone has an aliyah, they recite Barchu and you can answer, so then they can, even if they came late, the mistama, they would have heard that Barchu and answer, so therefore it wouldn't have to be repeated at the end of davening. Al pi tamzen nogen mispali nusach Ashkenaz shagambi mehachol sheish behem kriyas b'Torah shaloloma Barchu achat tefillah. So according to Ashkenaz custom, on weekdays when there's Torah reading, they don't say Barchu at the end of davening. Aval b'yomim she'ein behem kriya b'Torah nogen lomer tamid Barchu. However, on days when there is no kriyas Torah, there is no laning, they always say Barchu at the end of davening. Below livdok im yesha misha nitzrach lashlim. We don't ask or check, did anybody miss Barchu or not? It's just part of the mizgaret hatfila. V'zos kadesh lo hatrid esam espalon livdok b'chol yom im yesha misha icher. Because then every single day at the end of davening they would have to do a count. Did you hear Barchu? Did you hear Barchu? Did you hear Barchu? Did you miss it? Did you miss it? Also, you don't want to make anyone feel bad. Lefi ha'ari. Omrim tamid b'sof atfilah Barchu. According to the Arizal, they always say Barchu at the end of davening. Ki al pi ha'kavanos yesh tzorich lomer pa'amayim Barchu b'chol tefillah. Because based on the kavanos of the Arizal, again, this is above my pay grade when you get into this Kabbalistic notions, but there is a need to say Barchu twice, 2 times in each tefillah. Echad lefnei berachos kriya shema, one as we say it in its normal place after Yishtabach before brachos of kriya shema. V'hasheni b'sof atfilah, and one at the end of davening. V'chein b'tfilas arvis, and similarly we say one in Mariv. V'chein min nusach Sfard v'chasidim, and you'll find that by nusach Sfard and chasidim, this is how they daven. L'chol hanusachim mekamo shel Barchu archa kadosh rabbanan shehu hakadosh acharon. According to all the nusachim, when you say the Barchu at the end of davening, it's after the kadosh rabbanan, which is the final kadosh. V'kach gam acharon ha'ma'achrim yaspik l'shamo, and this way, even the last one who's really, really late will be able to hear it. V'nogash omer hakadosh omer Barchu, and the custom is that whoever is saying the kadosh, he's the one that should say Barchu. So sometimes, let's say the person reciting Kaddish Lo Aleinu is a minor who's not yet at the age of Bar Mitzvah, and if he's the one saying Kaddish, so you have to make sure that whoever says Barchu should be the one who is at least of age, because in order to be Motzi others in Barchu and Davar Shebekedushi, you have to be over the age of Bar Mitzvah. I just must make a note here, because maybe to some of our listeners here in the diaspora, this seems like a foreign concept. When you daven in Israel, it is commonplace. This is the regular procedure that they have Pitum HaKetoris, and they have a Kaddish Rabban at the end, and they have Barchu in Shachris and Marv in a regular Nusach Ashkenaz minyan. In America, by and large, we do not do this. Sometimes, if somebody came late, they'll chapa Barchu, as we say. They'll say Barchu on their own, and you have to remember that when you say Barchu, you have to do the whole thing. Baruch Hu Hashem HaMavarach. Everyone answers Baruch Hashem Mavarach L'Olam Va'ed, and the person who initiated has to also say Baruch Hashem Mavarach L'Olam Va'ed. They always forget to do that, but you have to make sure to remember that. But it's not common practice for us here in the diaspora to say this Baruch Hu at the end of davening. In Nusach Sfard, yes. Nusach Ari, yes. By Chasidim, yes. But regular Nusach Ashkenaz, generally speaking, we do not say Baruch Hu. So just to put that in context, because it could be that for some of our listeners this is unfamiliar territory. And I'm pretty good davening, and even when I go to Israel, I have to remember that this is the case, especially during the year that I was saying Kaddish for my father, Zichrono Livracha. I had to remember, and I finally got it right, and then I forgot this part that, oh yes, the one saying Kaddish has to say the Barchu also. And they're waiting and waiting on me. I'm like, what are you looking at? I said the Kaddish, I did it right. But apparently, I forgot that as well. So that's why we learn these halachas, we learn the different practices, we learn the customs, and we all become wiser as a result. And as a result of our learning, we ask you to please daven for Chayil Yitzchak and Yisrael, for Shleim L'chol P'tuei Yisrael, save your brothers and sisters in Eretz Yisrael. Thank you so much for listening and joining us today, and hopefully have a great day.